Deze is housekeeper als een Jeff.
Welcome, everybody, to another episode of Inside Scoop with Alex and Jeff. I'm Alex Dingman.
I am Jeff Dawes. What's up, guys? I hope everyone is having a great President's Day. Having fun, hanging out. Hope you went to your martial arts class. All right. I'm just saying, there were some people slacking today, not in the dojo, but I get it. Everyone had, people have things going on. But I hope everybody had a great weekend. I had an awesome weekend in Memphis, so I'm excited to share about that on the show. And Alex, how about you, man? How was your weekend?
Weekend was good. The weekend for me, Valentine's weekend.
Yeah, we had all that too.
What's also Valentine's weekend is NBA All-Star weekend. So
yes,
it was all right. I'm not going to talk too much about the NBA because obviously I could do that a lot. But listen, I just don't get it. Did you watch any of the NBA All-Star weekend?
So before I went out, we went out Saturday night after the tournament, and we went, of course, getting some great food, Memphis catfish and barbecue ribs and all the good stuff, and got to listen to some amazing blues music. We went down on Bill Street. It was so much fun. Got to go to the piano bar. Just a lot of cool things to do there. But yeah, I watched. Actually, there was two things, right? So there was on one. There was the what do we got? It was the one-on-one tournament. Have you seen this on TNT? The women's one-on-one tournament. They had like the finals.
Oh, I heard about that. I heard about it after it happened, and I'm like, wait a minute, that was a
thing. I don't watch TV. I don't really have. I just watch, Netflix and Disney and Peacock and about it. YouTube. So, yeah. So I'll watch that, and so that was kind of cool. I thought that was a pretty cool thing, right? And then I was like, wait a minute, NBA All-Star. So I went and watched that, and I caught the very last, I saw what Kawhi win, right? And then I saw the am I saying that right? Who won the 3-point contest?
Damian Lillard.
There we go. Damian. No, sorry. Yeah, Damian Lillard. All right. So then I watched the 3-on-3 thing. That was pretty cool. The 3-person challenge. I watched that. That was pretty fun. And that was about it. I watched the first 3 dunks. And then bad, but
it wasn't the dunk contest wasn't really bad. I mean, the last 2 dunkers, I mean, they were good. Didn't
one do almost like kill himself?
I mean, yeah. I said it as soon as it happened. Lindsay and I had this tradition where I'm just so glad that she's embraced it because I get to watch NBA All-Star Weekend all the time. But like Friday, we get pizzas. Right. Saturday, we get a stupid amount of sushi, right?
Nice.
And we just sit down, we eat sushi, we watch All-Star Saturday night, and then because there's just way too much, we eat the rest of it on Sunday when we watch the game. But when he hit his head, it was Jace Richardson. That's right, Jason Richardson's son.
Yeah. Yeah.
And he tried to do like an homage to Jason Richardson's dunk, and it would have been a cool dunk. I mean, he was close to it, but when he hit his head, I'm like, oh, he's concussed right now.
Yeah.
Right now. And we all, like all of us, like when we saw it, we're like, oh, you're out.
Well, he's out.
Yep.
Yeah.
You could try, like Reggie Miller, you could try to talk as much as you want. Like, oh, hopefully he gets back up. The hair kind of cushioned the blow. Like, I mean, and he had some, but like, we all knew you're out. But that also, you know what I noticed? When he fell like that, like he knew he was gonna fall. But that also showed me that like you're not used to falling, you're not used to protecting your body. because I got to know if we would have been in that position where we're horizontal, we don't just let ourselves stay horizontal. Right?
No.
No, like, and that doesn't mean you're gonna fall without injury. Like, you're falling from 10 feet in the air on a hardwood surface, you're gonna get injured, but you don't just accept it and let the back of your head hit the court. No, like you curl, you turn to your, like, in my head, I'm like, all right, if that was me, what would I do? There's no way avoiding like the crash. It's not like I would have turned over and landed on my feet. Like, impossible, right? It's just like the best thing you could possibly hope to do is just turn to your side and try to take most of the blow with your shoulder. But that would just let me just let you know, like, all right, advantages to martial artists, right?
Right.
We've all, when you reach a certain level, like, you're used to falling, right? And whether you've been taught how to fall or you're like, that sucks, I don't want to do that anymore, let me figure out how to make this not hurt, right?
Yeah.
But you know, it was funny. I remember there was like this martial arts school that was like near us.
Yeah.
It was in the same town, like less than a mile. And there was this classmate of mine. We did like this thing where it was like this field day, and you could go do this thing, and you could go do flag football, and you could do this. And there was this one like karate school that was like, here, you could come here. So me and this kid Clayton, we were like, he was brown belt. He was like almost a black belt. I was a brown belt. And I'm like, dude, let's go do this thing. It'd be kind of cool. So we went, and we're like, this is stupid, you know? And then one of our classmates was in there, and he's like, see, ours is so good because we know how to fall and not get hurt. And Clayton, like, it sounds like something I would say, but I didn't say it. Was Clayton. He goes, yeah, our instructors teach us how to stand up and not how to fall over. And I was like, boom! But going back, it was funny, but martial artists, there's value in that. Like, we watched, you know, pro athlete crash right on the back of his head on national television. Not the best. Well, but it was all right, man.
Speaking of that, that is a comment that Mike Smith says on King Conversations on that Behind the Competitor. Talks about, he says that he doesn't think that competitors these days are falling, but he thinks that they don't know how to stand up. And so that's a pretty good, you know, of what segue what we're talking about. So go check out all the live shows, the shows that are on the main app, guys. There's so many good streaming shows that we have on there. There's about 5 different episodes right now. So go check them out. Can't wait for Bow Here, Bow There, the second episode to come out. And lots of going on, man. But these conversations with Terry Kramer, EJ Greer, and Mike Smith and Anthony Price are great. Of course, hosted by Chris Walker. So go check those out, guys.
Yeah, I remember being in the karate school where if you fell over, that didn't, depending on who you were fighting, that was not the end of the exchange.
Of course, yeah, no.
Like one of my original karate instructor, alongside Scott Masterson, was a guy named Mark Schindler. Mark, he was a heavyweight, just badass fighter, right? He was badass dude. But he was one of these guys where, like, he loved sweeping, right? He loved to sweep guys. And I think that's where I originally was like, I hate sweeps because like you can't kick and not get swept, right? But it didn't even matter. Like, he'd find a way to sweep you, right? You were just like trying to throw like a ridge hand. He'll sweep you. Like, what? How does that happen? Right? And like, yeah, he'll sweep you and then like stomp on your chest, right? At least he was nice enough not to stomp you in the head or something like that. But he tried to like stomp you in the abs, stomp you in the chest, something like that. So falling wasn't the end of it. So you knew, like, if you fell, like, get what they call the heck up, or you're about to fall, do whatever you can not to, just to protect yourself. So I agree with him. Yes. But it's a fantastic episode.
Oh yeah, definitely. All right. So before we get into our episode, again, guys, make sure you go to myeventtex.com and start getting registered for Ocean State Grand Nationals, April 10th through 12th. I know that the hotel block is already full at the main hotel. So they have several ones, you know, right within walking distance or right around the corner. Again, we've talked about this tournament for years. Just so many great places to go eat at. Just the culture there, the competition is going to be on fire, and it's going to be just another big time event, right? So yes, we all grew up with ground fighting there. Some way I did too. So definitely crazy experience there. So I love that. But yeah, so Ocean State Grand Nationals, you know what? We always talk every year about the big open weight competition they're going to have there. We've also told everyone like they know what to get excited about because you know what? We're going to have the first time that, the guys from Corelli are over here with Team Revolution. You have the first, not the first time, because we'll probably see this weekend, the new JPM squad, competing together. But those guys, all of the top 10 USA guys, it's going to be a really, really good event. And then who knows who else will be there, The past few years we've had Sandros Peters there, that's been another great fighter. We'll have, I don't know. I just know this has been the fighting tournament to go to, right? And so everyone's excited for it, man.
Yeah, I mean, if you really think about like the big fighting tournaments of the year, we have the Warrior Cup, we got the Battle, and it's Ocean State.
Yeah.
The Diamonds is going to be the Diamonds. Like, if you win a diamond, like, it's an award where it's like there's not much else like it. There's the Warrior Cup, maybe the Rolex when it was a thing, but like the diamond is something else. But I mean, what's been like the premier fighting events where all the fighters are at, it is Ocean State, Battle, and Warrior Cup. Sure, you'll have some amazing performances at US Open or Amerikick, but those are probably the three biggest hitters right now.
Or even like, I know Quebec is really pushing, bringing the WACO competitors and stuff. So yeah, and maybe, every year, the past 2 years, maybe it was just last year, we saw, Straight Up and their group, with Conroy and Sam's guys, we'll see more of the Canadian guys at that tournament, so it's going to be exciting. Just to see everything going on. So again, guys, we're going to talk more about them over the weeks. I think they're going to be on in 2 weeks. The Rodriguez, and we're going to share about all the cool things that happen at Ocean State. And yeah, man, it's going to be a lot of fun.
And John is saying he's going to miss the lobster. Yes, the lobster. That is the downside of going to that event. Like when you have scallops for the first time in that area of the world, like, yeah, everything else after that's going to be a letdown, right? Like what are you going to do? Go to Nebraska and have scallops just the same? No, you know what I mean? And that's not throwing any shade on anyone in Nebraska, but like, what did you expect? Right. So the lobster there, it's the best I've ever had.
Oh yeah. Senior open weight is going to be great as well, Sam. And again, you know what, they continue to keep pushing the teams as well. So going to be a lot of fighting, going to be a big event, and I'm excited to be there again this year. All right, so Sam, if you guys went to a tournament this weekend, shout it out. Let us know in the comments. Like we said, there was a lot of events this weekend, but I was at the Memphis Open, and I know, of course, also one more thing. There was, of course, a lot of people went to Sharky's, memorial and everything over the weekend. So thank you to everyone who were able to make it out there. You know what? So I'm sure, a lot of people that made it out there for that. So it was really cool to just see the different videos and pictures from that. So,
and one of the things I thought about after the dust is settled from the memorial service is I really thought about, like, that's kind of what we do, is bring light and bring stories back. And I don't want it to be like, and John Sharkey and I had a really good relationship. Like, we weren't like great friends, but like He's a great guy. But what I don't want is to just have it go like, yeah, it's really great guy, great life. Sad he's gone. All right, moving on. And I just don't want that because at one point, Jeff, it's going to be us.
Yeah, I know.
I mean, who are we going to do?
Right.
Outlive God? Like, that's not going to happen. Right?
Right.
At one point, it's going to be us. How would we want to be honored?
Yep.
And that doesn't mean every single show. That doesn't mean every single conversation. But it also doesn't mean to just say, okay, moving on, which is not what we want to do.
No.
If you guys have other things, don't be afraid to just bring things up like that. Right.
And the thing is, what? Maybe 3 months later, we're doing something. Say, hey, this reminded me of. I remember when Sensei Sharky did this. And
bingo.
I think that's why our show has been successful and lasted for so long, and people enjoy it, and we have loyal followers and listeners because we share those things. We're not afraid to go back and tell a story about something that changed us from years ago, and to not just share that memory, but also educate you at the same time. So yeah. What's up, Joey? So I was at Memphis Open this weekend. My first time going out there. Had a blast, man. And I tell you, Joey, Holly, the whole ProMac team did an amazing job this weekend. Again, Sam, great. Thanks for shouting out the USA Sport Combat. They had an event in Fort Myers. Awesome. But, man, Memphis was a lot of fun. Not only was the event organized, well ran, the ProMac team, does everything super professional. What I thought it was cool. You have Dawson on one side doing a sword seminar. You have Alex Macias on the other side doing a fighting seminar. Both of those had great turnouts for that. So that was a great way to kick off that tournament. Then we had our judges certification that happened. And then we get right into our fighting, and that's what Friday night was there. They had the open rank divisions, they had the continuous divisions, and then they had double elimination divisions all on Friday. Okay. So, and I think we started at 6:45, ended around 9. So smooth, fun. And, yes, I was an official all weekend long, and I had a blast. I tell you, I really enjoyed, getting to work with some people that I haven't worked with before. Like Charles Garrett, man, is a great center judge. Had a lot of fun judging with him. Had fun, of course, judging with people from Texas. Sean Gillum, amazing judge. Joe Johnson, those guys, I got to judge with them. Tammy, I mean, just everybody really tries to make it, not just make it amazing for the competitors, but just make it work. You know what I mean? Like put in, we're going to be there till the end. That's just the way, we're there setting up the tournament, and then we're going to be there at the end, tearing down the tournament. That's just the mindset of, you see the ProMac judges, you see them, if they're a gray shirt, a black shirt, a red shirt, they're out there ready to push. So that was amazing.
Are there differences as far as their responsibilities as far as their shirts go? Is it like a hierarchy?
Yeah. So the gray shirt is, you're pretty much, just starting out as an official corner judge with the ProMac system. Black shirt, I believe, I know Joey could help me out a little bit with that. I believe it's like you've done a certain amount of hours, and maybe you're like a year in of being that. And then red shirt is, you put in your hours and maybe a couple years, and you are an official, you are a main center, a certified center judge, and also learning how to really coordinate and run a ring professionally. So there's some other hours in there. Guys, if you haven't, go to ProMac Karate if you're interested in being a certified judge, with ProMac and be part of the team. So, and I'm gonna, of course, for my tournament, we need everyone to do that and start reading the rules and recognizing everything for that. So, yep, everyone starts at level 1, no matter how long you are there. So I had a gray shirt, even though I've been doing this forever. And then, after 12 events,
good. That's the right way to do it, because that's exactly the reason why We wanted some kind of hierarchy and level of performance as far as the officials as well. Because if we do just go back to, well, it's Jeff freaking Doss, of course he should be at this level. You can make the argument for that. But if you
For a lot of people,
continue to do that, then who's to say you can't do that for this guy, right?
Yeah,
And
exactly.
so nobody's above the rules, and let the rules dictate what we do.
Exactly. No, I love it. So yeah, Joey's putting it here, again, just go through it fast. Everyone starts level 1, no matter who you are. And after 12 events or hours working, you get to move up to level 2. So I guess I would probably do that because I did a lot of work. We evaluate you over the course of those 2 seasons. In level 2, you start working towards being a regular center referee, taking on those responsibilities. And then level 3 are the most experienced and should be able to referee and officiate anywhere in the country anytime. Correct. So amazing job. Again, I think, what was fun was watching, I was in the 14-17 ring on Friday, and tell you, man, a lot of great fighters, young fighters from the Tennessee area. Texas was out there, Memphis. And it was really cool to just see some of these competitors that did everything. Like they did the open rank, then they went and they did continuous fighting, and then they went and did double elimination. Like one of the kid who got we had 9 people, all right, in the double elimination fighting. Okay, the kid who got second fought 7 times. Okay, he fought 7 fights, and he just kept going. I think he lost maybe his second fight or maybe his first fight, and he just kept going and ended up getting second place. But was really cool just to see the level of competitor out there. We had some people from Joe Rhodes' school, some from Kevin Walker's school. We had lots of different competitors out there, and some from the local Taekwondo group. I think it was CTF organizations that were out there competing. Some really great kickers, but also some awkward competitors that, like, there was a couple competitors that I just was. It makes it. I'm gonna tell you one thing, that judging sometimes is hard when you know a lot and you're sitting there like, oh, he's too far away. He should not be blitzing from this far away. But every time he would still hit first, and you're like, in your head, you're like, oh, this is bad. This isn't going to work. I'm like, well, crap. Wait, no, why is no one figuring this out? And like, that's just a funny thing, right? When you're judging, that happens, right? So one of these kids was like that. I'm just sitting there like, how is he doing this? Because that is way too far away.
There's a lot of guys over the years that have been like that you look at it and you go, almost to the fact where you look at them as a martial artist and go, I'm just freaking better than you, but you don't beat them, right? And it's just like, I'll be straight. The person I always said that about was Jason Grenier, and I would be like, dude, I'm better than you. I'm better than you at everything, right?
Right.
This guy, he's got nothing he does is like consistent with what anyone else does, right? He'll kick great. He actually, the one thing, no, he's better than me, 100%. He is very, very good at getting extremely low when he blitzes with his rear hand. But that's like what's your offensive weapon? That's the weapon. But he doesn't typically just go and do that thing, right?
Correct.
And he's a fantastic defender of good kickers because he's such an awkward fighter. Like, you'll go and he'll like pick his leg up and then fall over, but not actually fall over, just like awkwardly get. And he's a larger guy, and you look at it and go, I just don't freaking get you, man. Right? It's so much harder for me to fight you than somebody else who's, and not saying he's not skilled, because he is, but like somebody else who's really skilled, who could do everything really good. I'd rather fight one of those guys than fight you.
Correct. Yeah. So Friday, Alex, probably the fight that we were in a break, so I got to watch some of it. and it was Edgar Hermione versus Alex Macias.
Talk about
And
another guy.
great fight, right? And those, another fighter like that, right? And man, he was down. I believe he was down 4-5 points with like 20 seconds left, and came back and tied it up. And he was just killing it, man, and just sticking them with the psychic, sticking them with the blitzes, and then they go overtime, and Alex just says nope, boom, and I mean it was such a great fight. And so that was really cool to see that fight there for the open weight. Alex Macias had a great weekend, won the open rank, won the men's grand, over I want to say it, Yosvar, who was from over there. Yes, Xavier, you're right, man. It was a great fight. And then also he won the weapons grand, okay, as well. So had an awesome weekend. He was over there. He competed. Dawson was hanging out, coaching, and doing everything there. And Haley was also there cheering on and coaching Alex as well all weekend. So it was pretty.
She
cool.
wasn't competing.
She wasn't competing, but she had just gotten home. So this was her coming back from being on the cruise ship for 2 weeks, helping organize and choreograph everything going on. So they headed home, but it was great to see all of them. And
I'd love to talk to Haley and Alex again about the cruise ship. I don't know if Alex did. I know that Haley's been doing.
Haley has, yeah.
But
yeah, I talked to her on the Extra Scoop before, and we had a good conversation about it and what all the different things she learned and stuff. So yeah, we need to get her on.
I know that we've talked a bit about her, which I freaking love that she's able to showcase her skills and her image and likeness. Be like, I am this person who you guys are applauding, right?
Right.
Love that.
Right.
But I want to know, like, are cruises real? I've never done a cruise. I know you did like a cruise where you were like, but it was that one. It was the CJB cruise, right?
CJB cruise, the epic CJB cruise. Yep.
That like even if you weren't on it, like you've heard stories of it, you feel like you were there, right?
Yeah,
but
exactly.
Like, are they worth it? Are they all they're cracked up to be? Like, if you could go, would you do one? And I'm thinking about it. And then
cruise?
Yeah.
So I have one of my families here, and I was just talking to them, and I kind of made a smart aleck comment about that because they go on like 4 or 5 cruises a year, okay? And I'm talking, the mom was here, and she was like, I was like, yeah, it was a long trip, long drive, it was because it was about 11 hours of driving, to Memphis, right? So it was a long day. And she's like, yeah, that's the only thing about these tournaments. I just don't like traveling. I was like, well, you like the cruise. You're going like 4 cruises a year. And she's like, well, that's different. I'm like, yeah, okay. But so that's kind of funny. I mean, I think we all need to be looking into the cruise thing more for ideas, for camps, for all kinds of stuff like that. So I think it's a cool idea.
That's what I want to know, because like the cynic in me goes, I don't want to be around people all the time. I don't want to be told what to do. I specifically want to go on this vacation to that spot. But or is it maybe that, like, I mean, you could do that if you want, Alex, but you're missing out. I don't know. That's why I'd love to talk to her about that, because now I'm in the stage of life where I'm like, let's just go on a vacation.
Yeah, exactly.
Let's just figure it out and go.
I agree. So Friday night, great event. Of course, got to see different people like Kevin Walker, like Marty Eubanks. Was cool to see Billy Smart and all those guys from New York that came down and support. Some people from Canada that were down, Texas, California, a couple of different people that came and helped judge and stuff. So what was awesome. And then Saturday, we start with team forms, and then we go right into just all the black belt stuff in the morning. You're doing the adult black belts, you're doing the underbelt, the junior black belts. And then, we're just getting into it, man. So I was at the main ring with all the adult black belts. Lots of fun. Lots of great competitors. I got to give a shout out to, why am I missing his last name? Oh, gosh. Jesse Beck. There we go. Jesse Beck. All right. So Jesse Beck is someone that is he's from the same system as I am, right? And from the American Freestyle
Oh,
system
that's dope.
group. He goes to, our annual banquet that we do every year and all the stuff. He grew up going to those things, watching me compete, hearing about what we do there, watching different people. And then now he has been the past 3 years just going all out and learning NASCA, doing Pro Mac, and he's continuing to improve and get better each and every time. And so was really cool to see him grow this weekend with his creative and extreme stuff. Last time at AKA, he competed. He only did his creative because guess what? 4 weeks before, I think it was 4 or 5 weeks before AKA, he broke his arm. Okay. And he's still out there competing. And so, yeah. So really just a big shout for him. He's grown so much and really is pushing himself to that next level. And honestly, his last performance for the Grand that he only lost by 1/100th was his best performance of the weekend. So really proud of him. He's from North Carolina area and part of Team Immortals. So big shout out to him. And then shout out to Billy Smart, man, for winning the Forms Grand. And so he won the Adult Forms Grand. Alex won the Adult Weapons Grand. Was great to see all those guys compete. And then
What form did Billy do?
he did Kansan Kon.
Yeah. How does kicks look?
They look really good. Yeah.
Because he's long, man.
Yeah, man.
When you're really long and you do Taekwondo forms, like you better. Because otherwise it's just like when I see like a really long, lengthy Taekwondo form, I get a little excited. Like, ooh, let's see. Like even if someone's doing choreo or gay back, like you've seen 100,000 times. Cool. Right. I want to see you do this. You look like you could be really good at this thing. Isn't it a letdown when they're just like kicking at shoulder level and you're like, what the heck is this? Right?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
I know what you mean. I know what you mean.
Because he's tall too, right? Isn't he like he's got to be like 6 feet, 6'1"?
Yeah, probably so.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, and again, he's usually competing next to me, and so I make everybody look super tall. So yeah.
Well, that's just where I was going to go next. See, that's a testament to why I think you're the greatest Taekwondo forms competitor ever. Because like it's easy when you see a competitor like that, and you see the length, the stature. You don't have that. Yet you're still the best kicker ever.
Thank you, my friend. I appreciate that. I'll Venmo you.
I know you're trying to hurry up. You're trying to move past it.
No, I appreciate it.
That's all right. It's all good. It's all good. It's all good. We'll move on.
I appreciate it. So let's see. So those are the big winners on that part for the junior. You know what? There was a lot of great competitors. Congrats to Kaylin Tran from Revolution that won the 13 under forms. The 13 and under weapons was what's your guy's name? Mr. Osborne, Brandon, what was his student's name? Man, this kid is so good. He's going to be a star.
Legit?
No, he's going to be legit. And it's really cool because Brandon Osborne works with him, but it's one of his students, but also like Calman, has been working with him as well.
Oh.
So, but he's a bow competitor. So it's really cool to see Calman's influence on that as well. So, Benjamin Pickett, there we go. Yeah. This kid, he's got a bright future ahead of him. So I'm excited about that. So those 13 under divisions were great. And then we have I'm sorry. Benjamin Pickett. I think that's the one that won the 14-17. That's from Chandri from Virginia as well. Benjamin, he won both the weapons and the forms. Okay. Yeah, there we go. Dalton. Yeah, Dalton is the one that won. Thank you, Sean. He won the 13 under. So Dalton won 13 under, and Kaylin won the 13 under forms. Dalton won the weapons, and then Benjamin Pickett won both the forms and weapons from AKA. And I tell you, man, this kid is continuing to get better as well. I mean, I've seen him since he was like a young kid because he's from Martinsville area of Virginia, and and Ben is crazy at how good he has gotten. So he won with his common form and he won with his open hand. So congrats to those guys. And then yes, from Team Revolution, Kachuchka, sorry, won the women's. Yeah, bless you. Won the women's fighting grand. And you know, her kicks were on fire and her blitzes were great as well. So was awesome to see. Also, one more shout out to, of course, it's always fun to watch Marty Eubanks fight, right? So Marty decided not only to do his division, but he also won the. I mean, he didn't win, but he also fought in the open weight, 18 plus open weight, and just said, "Hey, you know what? I'm just going to do it." And so he won his division on Saturday, and I'm judging that, and so he literally is one of my favorite fighters ever to watch, right? And I'm just he tries a cartwheel, of course, because you know why not? And you know the guy's a lot bigger and probably outweighs him by 200 pounds. And then he, of course, right after he hits him with his classic front kick punch combo, that's just my favorite, and it's just fun to watch him go at it. So congrats to him. And then also another shout out to who won the 35 plus to 49. And that was Jesse Scheffler, man. And this was, I think maybe his second fight back. It may have been his first one. But he, you know, wasn't allowed to fight for about 2 years after he had everything going on with cancer and the different things that they told him, you know, hey, you know, you're not allowed to. And he got cleared this year. And so was really cool to see that, to have him there. Actually, he was at John Chung's, and we talked about that. So this was I think his first fight back, and he won that division, fighting great. His sidekicks were on point. His blitzes were good. His jump back fist. We joked a little bit about, you know, maybe he pulled a muscle doing his jump fadeaway back fist, but congrats to Jesse, a great guy, and looked awesome in the Forms Grand as well. So
nice.
So yeah, so man, I tell you, like, just the team that everybody had. You know what? Once, you know, the one thing is when you're at a ring and you're just kind of there, you don't really. And I didn't really move that ring. I got out for 1 second because I had 2 students and a teammate in, I think, the 1300 Forms Grand. So I stepped out during that one. But everything else, it was just like staying there the whole time, and I'm just focused in on everything, you know what I mean? And so I didn't really get to see what else was going on around there, but I know, you know, the team was just the ProMac team, the everybody just was putting work in, man. And so I really enjoyed that. Shelly came with me, so you know, we were together Valentine's weekend, so that was good. She stepped up and stepped in and ran registration, and you know, we both just learned a lot. And excited about Grand Slam Open this year and the rest of going on. What else is going on in ProMac? So I think this, you know, they Joey and Holly and everybody has just, you know, created something really cool. So, and then I'll tell you, we had some fun. We went to the. Thank you, I really appreciate that. We went to. Did I say? All right, we went to Blue City Cafe. Man, some great food, great catfish, great times, great music, great blues music. The day before, I went to this place called Alfred's, had some ribs, went by BB King's, you know, got me a BB King shirt. Shelly got a hat that said, you know, Lucille on it, you know, like the name of his guitar. We had some, while we were walking from one restaurant to the piano bar, okay, which was a lot of fun, so much fun.
Like a dueling pianos type of thing.
Dude, well, on the way there, I see, hey, it's Jerry Lawler, the King Jerry Lawler, which for people who don't know, I'm a big, huge wrestling fan. He's the king of Memphis, okay? He has his own restaurant and bar and everything there. So you
had to go in.
Yeah, and so we just walked in and just looked around, right? And Joey was like, really cool to just be like, all right, yeah, let's just go and look around for a little bit. Had all of his different things. It took some cool pictures, so I'll post some of those. And then we went over to the piano bar, which is just so much fun, man. And I tell you what, you know, you're at this place and these guys are doing something. playing piano. And then this dude pulls out a trumpet while he is playing piano with the other hand and doing the Saints Go Marching In, like, dude, it was sick.
What?
Yeah. Yeah. I know. And then sometimes this one guy had guitar in his lap playing, then he would go to piano and like, dude, there's just some talented people at
Dude,
those
that's
things.
nutty.
Yeah.
Do you know, I was just thinking as you were telling me all the places you were going, which sounds awesome, by the way.
Yeah.
That's like the bar hopping, but you didn't bar hop. You restaurant hopped.
Right.
You
Well,
restaurant, you live music, restaurant hopped.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I enjoy watching everybody else have fun and do those things. I had fun.
Right.
But yeah, it's but it was a lot of fun. Great weekend, great group of people. Trying to think anything else that really stands out. I mean, I just think, again, started at 8:30 on time, ends at 4:00, right before 4:00 on time.
It's a good day.
A good day. So, and yeah, it was just a lot of fun to have the team together. Yeah, Memphis. So, yeah, and I'm just excited about the next events that they have going on, everything going on from there. So, of course, the other thing is, it's cool, just the different themes, of course, a cool thing with Memphis Open is the guitar, right? Is getting the guitar. And, if you win the grand championship. So that was a cool thing. And just, overall, just the hospitality that, and for Memphis, it's a little different just because everyone that goes there, they know how it works. You know what I mean? Everyone is there, like, doing, like, they know the deal with how ProMac works. So I think it's just almost just like, hey, we're going to this tournament that we know how it is, and they know what to expect, and they deliver. So it's pretty cool.
So you know what I dig about that is the guitar. The guitar is different, right? It's a different type of award. The downside is you can't really display more than one of those things. You can do if you win the tournament again and again.
Yeah, I think Alex won 3 of them. Yeah, Alex won 3 of them. So yeah.
So what if?
Yeah.
What if on the guitar, because you get one, and now there's space on the guitar, you can put
Grand
2026 weapons champion, 2027 fighting champion.
Right. You could do
Not
that.
a bad idea, right?
Not a bad idea. Not a bad idea.
Because I think about it, like, I have no guitar to display. All right, I have not. But I'm looking around. Where the heck am I going to put this? I know everyone else is looking at a barren fireplace back here. All right, but it's not with the rest of the places here. Like, I don't have no room for all that. What would I do? But that's a cool. I could figure out a place for one.
Yeah.
And then once I got it up, boom, 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 boom. If I was good enough to win like that, But like Alex has 3. There you go. Boom, boom, boom. You can have that.
Boom, boom, boom. Yeah. So again, awesome weekend, and excited for their next events. They have a lot of things going on. Lots of great promoters and judges that they're a part of it. So excited. Blue suede shoes, grands. I like that.
The only downside is someone might actually want to wear them things out, because I could see that being pretty cool.
Yeah, that is cool.
I need to buy some just after I won. Like, here, these are my walk around blue suede shoes. The other ones are in the display box.
Sean's cool. Right. You just got to start a band.
Well, I don't know about all that.
With the same instrument, but okay. This band's called 4 Guitars. Like, what all right, so now we're gonna go with this. We're going to, again, another sponsored segment. Sport Karate Key Eye Moments, sponsored by Ocean State Grand Nationals. If you guys have some key eye moments or key op moments, whatever you want to call it, yell
when you do martial arts. You do a move, you yell.
Right. I think we have some crazy ones. Again, sponsored by Ocean State Grand Nationals, April 10th, 11th, 12th, Warwick, Rhode Island. Go to my Eventex right now and get registered. All right. Who wants to start?
So there's a lot of different ways where you can go with it. But really when you say like the Kia, right? Let's go back to its foundation, Jeff. What
All
is
right.
it when we're teaching someone what the yell is? Because it's awkward for people. You're doing your first day of martial arts.
Correct.
And you're like, here, you're gonna yell or whatever it is that you tell them. You're gonna Kia. You're gonna like nobody wants to the
No,
first time because
no
they've
one
never
wants to
done
do
it before.
Right.
They
They don't want to do
feel like an idiot, right? And so
Yeah.
you have to do it with them. Here, I'll do it with you. And then boom, you do it.
Then it's a little weird, right?
Even then, right? But then we tell them it comes from like your diaphragm and there's many reasons. I'm not going to get into the whole reason. There's many reasons why someone would do it. I'll let you're an instructor, you're a coach, you'll decide. However, we have a purpose. But then when you get into competition, it sounds nothing like what you've like explained in class.
No, it's
right?
not.
So there's like a Hia, a Kia, even fighters do it. Sure. I like it when fighters make a little bit of noise. When it's a lot, it's like, all right, calm down, hero. Calm down.
Right.
Yeah, that's a little much. Like, like 33 seconds in, you're toast. All right. But anyway, and then it became in the late 80s and then into the early 90s, it was like, Aya! It became Aya. That was the thing. And everybody universally knows Aya, right?
Yeah.
And then it became the weirdest one. And it lasted years and years. And it was like cool to do it when it became in the 90s, like the mid 90s. Ayasa. Don't understand why that stuck. Ayasa. Ayasa. Don't understand how we took one move and made it 3 syllables. And it was cool. It was like, that's what you did. Right. Now, this is going to sound bad, but I've already been on the hot seat for this anyway. Most of the bad yells come from women. I'm sorry, women. Right? You guys are the culprit. Asa or that. Okay. But
or Asa or Isa. I don't know.
Yes. There we go. All right.
Yeah.
But no, women are, for the most part, the biggest culprits for the weirdest yells. All right. I can't remember. I would say who this person is if I could remember their name. I can't. I know that they were like a Team Infinity member. All right. And I know they were from Mike's school in some way, shape, or form. But they had this yell where they would say toes. All right. Toes. 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 What are we saying? Toes? It's the craziest thing if you think about it.
Yeah, my good friend Doug Armstrong does that. Toe. I'm like, dude, stop. There's that, right? There's some that got really creative, and again, like Marty Eubanks just put out today a video from 1989 bluegrass, and it had Seneca Luther and John Valera. And Seneca Luther's Kia was Casey Die. Okay, so we got Casey Die. And yeah, man. And of course, you had that awesome head of mohawk, and yeah, it was pretty sick. So if you haven't checked out Marty Eubanks's Facebook page where he's promoting his tournament and he's putting a lot of old school stuff up there, go check that out. And it was really a cool form, his musical form, and also John Valera's musical form. Both of them were comma forms from back then. So look how far we have come from when we see a comma form like those back then to where we are now, right? It's kind of crazy. Did Casey die, though? I think so, because I would run from that mullet. I mean, mullet, not mullet. Sorry, mohawk. Yeah. Well, it was kind of mullet mohawk kind of things. It was a little wild. It wasn't a regular mohawk. It was intense.
That's the thing about
so there's that. There's some that honestly like sound like I remember being at Charlie Lee's school, and Valera was teaching a seminar. Okay. And Jimmy Pham and I were there, and so was Jeff Gajir, and we were just there hanging out, waiting for him to be done. And then after we went back in and trained, right? So he was doing that, and I remember parents laughing when he was doing his yells or whatever, because they thought, he was saying the A word, like, like calling someone an asshole.
Wait. Who was saying that?
Jacques Valère, because it was like,
Oh,
I saw or ass, it kind of sound like, so you have that sometimes where some of these kias that we do sound profane, sound like some bad words, and
you've done it for so
I've heard
long.
some where it was like, shh, like, and it was like, did they just say, well, what is going on? Yeah, asshole, there's a lot of ones like that, right? And yeah, it's pretty crazy. Sam says DDB has his favorite Kia. Yeah, that's true. DDB had some good Kias.
But see, that's the thing is when you're a performer, even in your karate school, right? Like you get ear blind sometimes to like the yell over and over and over again. You just don't hear, or even the way, listen, instructors, you gotta like and analyze yourselves as well.
Yeah.
Some of them, the way instructors say go,
Mm-hmm.
that's worse.
Oh, that's true. That's true. You're right.
That's
Go,
worse.
Go. Yeah. Sometimes it sounds like we're saying goats all the time. Goats and goats and goats.
Or they
yeah,
just
there's
have
a lot
like,
of stuff.
all right, like I'll give you a great example. Okay. Give a little NK. All right. NK started from a small handful of Texans, right? And then they went to DC and they went to Minnesota. But in the Minnesota, this is the most opposite of Texas you could get, right?
Right.
That's why I applaud them from going to a place like that and completely thriving and creating just a complete dynasty. It was amazing. But people would sometimes say go as if they had a Southern accent or like a Texas accent, right?
Yeah.
We're like, because they're just so used to hearing it that they repeat what they hear, right? Like I can't, there's so many people who would say, hey, yeah, when you're facing the mirror, and I'm like, no Minnesotan says mirror.
Yeah.
Right? Nobody says that. All right. You're only saying that because you heard this guy say it. You've never really once thought about what am I saying? Mirror. Like he can't help it. Right? He can't. That's just who he is. You grew up in Wayzata. All right.
Right.
You grew up in the whitest area there could possibly be. Right.
That's funny.
Wayzata is a great town, but come on now. So, but
yeah.
If we're thinking about like the crazy yells, I think the ones that have like those multiple syllables.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. It's just crazy now.
Well, it is, but we've gotten used to the multiple syllables that now the one syllable ones is what, like I have a kid at the school and they just go ice, 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 ice. And I'm just like, hey, be careful with saying that nowadays, So anyway, so I had to throw that in there. So there's
that's pretty funny.
There's another one where I'm judging and this person is saying these words and I just wrote down on my comments, lawyer's favorite, because they were saying, I kill, I sue, and I'm just sitting there like, that's just what I thought of. Like, oh, a lawyer would love this person. So, so there's just some funny things, that kind of happen, but, and then, yeah, I mean, I have one kid in my school that I swear when he yells Keops, it sounds like he's just saying his name. It's like, bro, why are you saying your name? Isaiah. He's like, Isaiah. Like,
that's amazing.
Yeah.
Now but see, even when fighters do it, like we talked about, sometimes they'll yell too much. I like a little bit of feedback. Like it's okay. Like I don't like a lot. Like, okay, just stay focused on the fight, get in there. But if there's a really good exchange and you want to get into it and yell like good, right?
Yeah.
Sometimes it can haunt you.
Yeah.
There was a fighter. He was a teammate. He was fighting Raymond. And he was going, oh. and he had not yet scored, and he was doing a lot of yelling. And Ray looks at him and points at the scoreboard and goes, "Oh yeah, oh look it, oh you got oh." I was like, "Oh, damn,
That's bad. That's bad.
yeah."
That's
And
bad.
that's how the match ended too,
Right.
with Ray just going, "Oh yeah, you want oh? I got oh right there for you. Oh."
All right,
That was
I got one more great Ki moment, and actually, it's not one. I've seen this happen several times, and it's usually actually has been during breaking where someone was holding a board, and then Shark was like, "Ah yeah," and their partial came out, and their fake tooth came out. Yeah, it came out and fell out.
what?
I had one. Their whole partial came out. One, their fake. Their whole dentures came out. And they fell out while they were keying.
I'm actually speechless. hold, hold the heck on. Wait, what? You watched a person hang on, compete in a breaking division
Yeah,
and break their own tooth on a yell?
yeah.
Just blah.
Yeah.
It's just,
Just boom. Just when they're yelling, it just popped out. Yeah. So,
oh man.
whew. Yes, that's
embarrassing.
pretty bad. That's pretty brutal. Yes. Foot fist way. Yep. That's right.
Yes.
Oh man. So that was pretty fun. So again, guys, go check out again Ocean State. Excited for that. Again, if you have not checked out the main app, make sure you're doing that. And I tell you what, Alan, thank you for coming to me, introducing yourself. He was talking about, speaking of Seneca, you can't find any videos of Seneca on YouTube. Can't even find him on Facebook. You guys should do an episode on Nazca Legends. YouTube forgot. That would be great.
Well, let's talk about that though, Alan. That's the thing is that's because Wally Faulkner, without him, all you have is personal VHS tape. That's what you have.
Yeah.
So when Seneca was competing, I don't even know that there would have been any video. I mean,
the only ones would be the video. Yeah, there's that, and then maybe the video that the guys at Diamonds was the only one that was really videotaping their finals back then, right?
But they only had it, I think, from 91 on, maybe 90.
Yeah, and then there's
I'll tell you this, only because I know firsthand. The Diamonds they used to do their own until like 2008, right?
Yeah.
They lost money on that every single time, right? Every single year they lost a significant amount of money. And at one point, because the Diamonds are like, hey, this is our product. We want to be in control of our product and we want to put it out there. And at one point they're like, why are we're just taking a bath with money. Why are we doing that?
Yeah, but that was later on, Drew. And then also, who else did that? Oh, Texas Challenge did the same thing. And actually for a while, Ocean State did too. Because I have those videos, and they weren't black and blue back in the day. They were their own that they did and produced. So Ocean State, and then also Texas Challenge, which is Al Garza's tournament. Both of those were like that. Yeah. Oh, you have a few. So yeah. And check out Marty's page. He has that video of Seneca, and it was awesome. I haven't seen one of his form in a long time. But this is another thing that why Karate Helps Kick Diabetes was so big and a big deal back in the day, because it was the only time that we really had video like that. And you had like the 88, 89, 90, 91. They would do this show and they would highlight these people, and then they would travel all of the tournaments and sell these videos to raise money for diabetes, for juvenile diabetes. And dude, it was so cool. And everyone wanted those videos, and like by every tournament, you probably got the whole set, So yeah, I have some videos of Cody. I need to find them as well, Alan. I still think that actually Sport Martial Arts has a few of my videos still to this day. that I sent them for my segment that I used to do, sushi school in session. So, yeah. Sean, he
Amount
says he
of
has some Battle of Atlanta ones. Yeah, the monkey, yeah, or yeah,
the
that was
amount of
all one.
footage that Emily Cooper has that she hasn't put out,
Oh, I know.
it's got to be. I mean, if you think about it, I mean, what was it like 2001? I think is about when she came out when it was Mass Link. It was like 2000 or 2001
It
when
was
it was
2001. Yeah.
it was Mass Link. It wasn't yet sportmartialarts.com. I don't think that happened until like 2002 or 3. All
Oh,
right.
because they had their league, Massel.
I
They
know.
had a league on Massel. Yeah. So
And so think about it. 26 years of footage almost
yeah.
of a
Yeah.
lot of events. I mean, Wally's the only one who's going to have more footage than her, you know?
Right. And yeah, it's
And
pretty
that's
crazy.
just from sheer math, just from being
Yeah.
around, not dying, you know?
Right. Yep. So pretty sweet, man. Just all the stuff that we have. And I mean, eventually we'll get it all together. You know, maybe we'll have it all in the Martial Arts Internetwork app. So,
Well,
and
let's
again,
do
if
that,
you want
guys. If
to
you
look at that,
have
do it.
some cool footage that you're able to convert, send it the way of the director. Send
That's
it to
right.
Travis. If you feel like, hey, this could be really cool, boom. Okay, don't send it
No,
to this guy. All right.
he
I'm
doesn't
over
know.
here wearing a Gabagool t-shirt. I'm definitely not the tech savvy guy.
All right. So our last thing to finish up is, again, a lot of people are heading out to compete nationals this weekend, or sorry, international.
All right.
And again, man, I hate that I'm going to miss it this year. Definitely, I know that I got to get out there next year. It's going to have to be one of my last events that I compete at. I'm just saying, I don't know about last. Sorry. Well, all right, whatever. But that was my first national win. Okay, it was at Compete Nationals. Sorry, now I'm saying it. Compete Nationals. Compete Nationals.
Isn't that a great example of just doing what you hear, though?
Yeah, it is a great example.
See, full
Yeah.
circle.
And so that was always, a really cool event. I mean, again, I just remember going in the finals, maybe 10 o'clock, 11 o'clock as a 10-year-old. And I'm East Coast time. So that was like 1 a.m. my time,
Wow.
and competing in a kickboxing ring and walking back, bouncing off the ropes, and then be like, oh crap, and just start my form. I got 2 10s. So, there was these two judges that just, loved the slow kick. I did the slow hook kick in my open form to finish it. So, so yeah. But man, there was a lot of cool things. And you know what? Some other cool stuff. Everyone that was in the finals and that won first place got these. I'm trying to remember the brand, but we got these outfits. It wasn't the same. It was like another brand besides Atomics. It wasn't Atomics, but it was another brand that was made out there. Oh, it was Full Contact. Okay, Full Contact had this brand out in California, and so we got these whole outfits. Now, mine was way too big for me, but I just hey, that was cool that we got these whole things, right? And so stuff like that is pretty sweet. Like I feel like more tournaments, again, and we've talked before about the custom gloves and things like that that were a cool thing. Or even if they weren't custom, if it was just like, hey, guess what, we have these ASG gloves, regular white ones, boom, we're giving them to all the winners, things like that. They're just cool. So again, that's one of the things that I remember about that event. But I always grew up, just when I went out there, it was like seeing a whole nother side of the country. But in martial arts terms, it was the competitors that I didn't get to see or we didn't see on the East Coast. And because it was compete, we saw, and it was in California, there were so many NBL competitors that really only competed out there, right? And that was a really cool thing to be able to see people, like even Ebony Adams, out there competing. You had, Ramir Mosquita, a lot of the guys, Abdul Love, a lot of these guys that were only competing out there, Leo Creer, who just recently passed away, Troy Whaley, all these guys that were main West Coast competitors, that tournament was probably one of the last times that Larry Lamb competed. I remember, seeing him compete. It was probably one of the last times. And, back then, you had compete in the beginning of the year, and then you had Las Vegas at the end of the year. And those are really, and then also the next tournament was Denver. So you had those 3 tournaments that were the West Coast events. Right now it's only compete, right? So
Right.
There's not as much, we don't get as much access to the West Coast competitor as we would like, but there are some that make it work, like a Judo Sagawa, right? Like Team Freestyle. Those guys travel to the East Coast multiple times, and they had that 3-hour difference all the time, where we're complaining about it going to compete, and they have it every time, Yes, she was Memphis, but she moved out to West Coast, and even around when I was doing NASCA, she stopped and went almost solely NBL. So yeah. But yeah, you're right, Joey. There needs to be more. There was a Arizona tournament for a while.
Yeah, Cactus
NBL
Classic.
was very big. So when I did the Westpac with for about 3 or 4 years, that was a great experience of going to San Francisco, going to Vegas, going to Oregon or Washington, depending on which year it was, going to Utah, going to El Paso, all those places out there. Just a whole nother culture, right? When you think of the West Coast competitor, what do you think? What and again, I mean, last week I talked about meeting Ernie Reyes. Like that style is a whole nother thing, right? Yeah, dude, hold on. When was the last time we saw this guy in our comments? I mean, bro, we miss you, man. Where you been, Rich Osborne? We miss you, bro.
But he's right. Colorado, they're starting
Yeah,
to really
man, they
build
have
things
some
up.
growth going on.
They're
Same
going
thing
local and just gradually growing. I don't know that much about Utah, but you saying Utah is starting to grow, that's good.
Utah has had some huge dude, I'm just telling you, man, like Utah right now. Well, you know what? I'm just gonna give a shout out to Mike Tobin. Mike Tobin and his team, he's had Tobin's Elite for a while. He's also had Pinnacle Martial Arts in the past. He had one of the most successful NBL schools for a very long time. And now, he's been one of the main coaches of the USA team for WKU. And they go out there every year and kill it and still producing great people. So I know Utah there. You also have Darren Cox, a lot of those guys that are there, the Flanders that are doing great things out there. So, all right, go ahead.
Well,
Either you were going to ask me something, or I was going to, or I don't remember where we were going with it. But you go ahead.
But because I am, you were right when you started talking about the competitors that you would see, when you would go to West Coast events like compete nationals or maybe some of the NBL tournaments.
Right.
You're going to see some guys that you just don't see all the time. And immediately I think of like the West Coast demo team or like the Loop Kicks guys or the Bay Area guys as well, right? Like the Bay Area fighters.
Right.
Is it Froms? Am I saying it right?
Yeah, Froms, yeah.
Froms, yeah. They're a really good school. They're a really good fighting school, right?
You're right, Brett. Tiger Bombs was huge, man.
Without Tiger Bombs? What's he saying?
No, Tiger Bombs was a huge tournament on the western side of Canada, okay, in Vancouver.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Huge event back in the day.
So when we're talking about guys that I remember compete, like were guys that I would compete against, that I would see, like you'd see them there and you maybe would see them at US Open and that would be it.
Right.
Like forms competitors like Chris DeVera, right?
Yes.
Who maybe one of the most talented, like just martial artists ever.
Correct.
And the problem with like a performer. I'm going to call him a performer. Like Chris could do everything. So he tried to do everything.
Yeah.
And it didn't work. Like I remember one time in a form when he did a 540 on one side, stopped, didn't even go into a strike, just stopped and did a 540 the other way.
Yeah.
And you're like, oh, okay. All right.
Yeah.
It's just a 540, but hold on. You just did them both the exact same. You didn't, I couldn't tell which one is your favorite. Like that was kind of cool, but that's like something that's like a deep track. Like we really get into that. Like, oh, that's cool. You're really performing for your like companions, right? We're the ones that are going to appreciate that the most, not everybody else. All right.
Right. Joey's saying Chris, Anise, Tim, all those guys. Yeah. There's also some schools out there, man, that like I would only see at compete, and that would be like Eric Lee's school, right? The Lee brothers, where they had that hop. I think they were like hop keto, I think was their style, or maybe it was a different, but those guys were like, their style was different, man. Like it was just a whole nother level. And I just remember competing against some of those guys and be like, wow, okay, you don't see this anywhere else. And I never, I didn't ever see it again. And, seeing guys like that, or even seeing some guys like a Dollar Tan, who only would show up at that tournament. You would see even some of the guys because back in the day, the Buhisans, like Jimmy Pham's school, Great American, their tournament was in San Jose area. You have Ramir, you have Jimmy Pham, his brother. You have eventually later Jericho Coutura, Hans, Apple, Cios, and all of them coming from that group. And those guys were offsets of that school was originally under the West Coast and then started their own thing. So it's pretty cool to just the different styles that everyone had back then, right? I don't know. Now, today, again, I mean, you do see a difference, like with the team freestyle, the way that they stand out, from everyone else. They are a true team that does it at that level. I know sometimes we forget, though, like sometimes I don't even know where half of these people are from anymore. Like some of the West Coast people, because you know what, like they go and then they get on a team. And you almost think that, like, let's just be honest, a lot of the people from AKA, you think, oh, you're from Chicago. No, they're from California or Colorado or somewhere else, right? Like Pinto.
Yeah, like, I was just going to say, like, Pinto was on AKA.
Yeah.
Certainly didn't see that guy floating around Naperville.
Right. Luke Brodelick, all of these guys, that were back then, right? You had so many different ones. Josh Durbin, who's another great West Coast competitor. And you got the fighters. That was a whole nother Jose Pacheco.
That's exactly where I was going to go. Jose Pacheco, or even like going later, in the years, Leon Jefferson.
Yeah. Dude.
Michael Jefferson.
Yeah. Oh, and in that whole group, like Kenji's martial arts, man, Cerronio's, like Bobby Cerronio and his whole family.
Oh, yeah.
All the different ones, I mean, again, Junior Salientes, the original proper, everything that's gone to now, it's crazy. But yeah, a lot of the open stuff came from the West Coast, George Chung, all these guys. So it's wild, man. Yes, sir, Richard. Thank you, man. Thank you. And I enjoyed seeing your brother this weekend. He was having fun, man.
What's happening with proper right now?
I'm not sure, buddy. I don't know. I know that they have their group that, competes in Europe.
Yeah.
That's really all I know.
Hopefully we see some proper uniforms that compete nationals. That'd be great, right?
That would be cool. That would be cool.
The one thing I will say that compete does well is that when the local champions they feel like honored and embraced to come back to the tournament and at least be a fixture in that event.
Correct.
Right.
Correct.
Like, Jose Pacheco is beloved. over
Yes,
there.
he is. Again, even some of the younger competitors who are no longer competing, like you'll see a Mackenzie Emery this weekend. You'll see, you know, Matt and some of those guys come out there, over the weekend to hang out. Rudy will,
Rudy,
will be there. You'll see
Steve.
those guys there. You'll see Steve. Yeah, you'll see these guys out there. You'll see Raymond will show up there because that's his tournament. Jack
Yeah,
will be there. Those guys. Jack
Jack
Felton.
might still fight.
Right. Mike Pombero will show up and hang out. He may
100%.
fight too. You never know, right? So Chris Casamassa, he competed
Oh
this,
yeah, that's the number one, right?
right? He's going to he'll probably compete again, because I talked to him at US Open. He was like, yeah, I kind of want to compete again. Did you see that competed? I was like, yeah, of course I did, my friend. So
Everybody saw, man. And it was,
yeah.
didn't it make you feel good, like
Oh
watching
yeah.
that performance
Yes.
again? And it
Yes.
wasn't specifically Chris, although it was a great performance. It was like that kind of performance. And you're like, oh, just feel a nice little warmth right in my belly here. Like, oh, this is cool. I get to see this again. Right.
John, you're funny. No. So yeah, I mean, there's so many different ones that I think it's going to be cool to see who all's there. I mean, a couple years ago, Kyle Richards came back and
Oh
fought
man, that's so
straight
cool.
up. You had a lot of these guys that did that and made they're like, hey, this is a big deal. So I don't know who. All right, who is someone from out there that you think of when you like maybe they defined an era, maybe there's someone I don't know.
Yeah, it's easy to say someone like Raymond, because he's the best ever.
Right.
But I actually think if I'm thinking of like an era, that's
So yeah, so for me, I know it's someone who the first time I saw was at that tournament, and then they became
okay.
one of the biggest competitors of all time, and that would be John Su, right?
Okay,
So
that's a great
when I started going there, John Su was not a seasoned NASCAR competitor yet. He was a good at the area. He was a Red Dragon competitor, and he was on that level and trying to get up there. And then by the time, maybe within 2 years, then he was starting being one of the top guys. And then by 98, 99, it's okay. This is going to be the future. This is the guy, for the next 4 or 5 years. That's a good one, Joey.
Michelle Mouse.
Yeah, Mouse and Butch, those guys.
Yeah.
Because here's the other thing: when you go to, and I don't know if they still have this, but you go to West Coast tournaments, especially back then, they had a division called the Showmanship Division, and that was musical forms. That could be self-defense. That could be a team form. That could be anything that you wanted to show out and have that showmanship division. And I remember first time I went to that tournament, I did that, and I did a musical form. And I didn't know it was the only thing that we had on Friday night. There was not really anything else back then on Friday night. So they would have showmanship. They would have team fighting. They may have had some breaking, but yeah, man. And that was a staple of that tournament. And also not just that tournament, but the West Coast tournament, eventually what became like the IMAX circuit, all that. So.
Yeah, Brett, the Sherman Oaks Raiders, I mean, they're pretty damn good. I mean,
and even Team Kenai back in the day, because you would go there and you'd be like, you would have these teams that would come out and it'd be a clash of styles because this is a NASCAR tournament. These guys are local competitors, but they're the highest level that were also the best at the other circuit at NBL or would travel overseas. And so you got this awesome clash of styles. And again, you had Kenai beat JPM teams several times at that tournament, or Sherman Oaks and some things like that happened. They got really close, like it was pretty cool.
So, I mean, that's hard. So like when you say like, like who's a competitor that just like you think of, like, I could say Jack Felton, but like Jack, like you probably also see Jack Felton at New England Open, you know, and like someone out there sees him just as much, and they feel like they know him. So you almost have to go to like a deep cut. Like,
Yeah.
who's the guy? Like you see him here, and that's maybe it. So I think maybe maybe a Kyle Richards,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
I think maybe someone like that who like you've seen, but like as the years go by, you don't see him everywhere, but you
Right.
have a good possibility of seeing him here.
It's
And
funny
that's
that
one.
you said like New England Open because that would be actually even later on. Those were the two tournaments he would be at. It would be New England Open because
Yes,
of Joe Greenhall, and then
because of the team.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
I mean, or
I think of a Julio Castro too. That's
that's a
someone
good
that
one.
that's that one. That's someone who was just solid in that area.
Yeah. I also think of Arnold Chan,
Yeah.
and
Even though he's from
exactly.
Northern Virginia, Maryland area, right? So
Yeah. And so I think about that, and it wasn't like he was there like that often, but it was like, I don't want to say that often because he actually was there. He didn't compete in that tournament as many times as maybe somebody else.
no, but when he moved there, he was always there, right?
He
At
was
that tournament for many years.
exactly. Yeah.
Yeah.
You
That's
somebody I actually thought should have made an appearance more often, who eventually did move out there. And that's the thing. We do have a number of like competitors that move out to that area because Southern California is amazing,
right.
costs a lot, but it's pretty awesome. Like you get to be there. I actually think Wayne Douglas should have made an appearance way more. I
Yeah.
mean, after he was like, okay, I don't think I'm competing. I'm a martial artist. I'm
Right.
not competing, so I'm not going to go. And I just think like someone like him,
Right.
that would have been cooler to see him there like all the time. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's kind of weird that there's so many that I can think of from my area that live over there now or no longer do, but they did, and now they're in like Georgia or even they're back home in this
Yeah, or
area
like
now.
Caitlin Deschelle.
Yeah, yeah, Caitlin, Gemma, all
Bingo.
the different ones, Mindy, all these ones out there.
Oh,
So
yeah.
there's a lot. Yeah, I mean, I think it's pretty cool. Julia, yeah, she is from California. Yep, she just had a child recently, so she is out in that area. I think she's more Northern California, but she may be there. So yeah, I know. Again, my instructor, him and Joey Shiflett are flying out there. I think he hasn't been in that tournament since he says '96. I think it was a little bit sooner than that. I don't know. So he's super excited about that and going out there to judge and compete. And yeah, man, I mean, I think it's going to be pretty sick. Yeah, Kinsey will be out there, Joey. Yeah,
You know what would be cool? You see these things on social media now where people are like,
Kinsey will probably be out there.
this is what it was like then, like we're in 2026. Let's flash back to what 2016 was. Maybe let's do that. Right? What happened in 2016 there? What happened in 1996 there? 2006 there? Let's go back, 10, 20 years, see what that was like. Who were the people,
Right.
back then? Now you get to kind of compare,
I mean, one of the things for me back then that was a cool thing was the medallion because they would take the two winners of the grands, the weapons winner, the men's forms, and then the women's forms, and those three would go against each other to get the medallion. And then they would do the same thing for the juniors. And so that was a big deal back in the day, right?
Well, kind of like what the Warrior Cup was. I mean,
yeah, in a lot of
the
ways.
Warrior Cup is still kind of that way, but there was just fewer Warrior Cups.
Right.
So that
Right.
when you won your grand championship, like the medallion, you got to go compete again to see if you win this one.
Yeah.
That
Yeah.
was
Well,
cool.
it was it was the grand and then it was the medallion. So it was
Exactly.
a whole thing. So, yeah. So, I mean, I think it's pretty neat to see just how far that tournament has come. Again, like I haven't been there in a long time. And so I got to get back there. And I know, I love those guys, the Red Dragon team, the Jahan Bosch's, the whole family. So,
They do a good
definitely
job.
fun. Yeah, they do. So
I'm trying to remember what the medallion looked like. I'm trying to picture it, and in my head, in my head, it sounds bad. In my head, it looks like something Dracula would wear, right? But am I totally off base?
Oh no, you know what I think of? I think of that movie Warriors of Virtue, where do you remember this with the kangaroos and they went to like this. Do you remember this movie?
Absolutely not. I have no
Oh,
idea what you're talking about.
so like the kid had somehow like he was at, of course, a Chinese restaurant, and they gave him like this dragon type medallion, and he thought about it, and then imagined that he was in this crazy land with kangaroos, and they were fighting and doing all this kung fu and stuff, and yeah, so that's kind of what I think about it. But I'm trying to remember who there was. Someone used to wear. Oh, that was the bet. That was the craziest thing ever, Joey. I'm going to share that in a second. The Gary Waugh thing. But somebody used to wear it all the time. Their medallion all the time. I'm trying to remember who it was. But yeah, 96. Yeah, you're right. Or it might have been 97. Yeah, Gary Waugh. He did a B twist. It wasn't even he did a B twist. It's on. You can find it on YouTube.
Oh, I have actually seen
the B
this.
twist.
Is another one of those moments.
Right into the rope, and they pushed him back in, and then he just kind of bowed out and said, forget it.
Yes. But that's another one of those examples where it's like something that like you've seen before to the point where you feel like you were actually there. I was absolutely not there. Yeah,
I was there. I was in the finals that night, and I was just like, I don't want that to ever happen to me. Okay. Like, no. There were some big moments as well, like at that tournament, like the first time Carmichael performed to Mortal Kombat. Okay. That was 94. The first time Jimmy Pham did the B twist into a split. Okay. And then his jump outside crescent pop 720. I think that was the first time that anyone did that. There was also some cool things of like seeing someone like a Jamie Webster who ran everything in 94 come out there and just be like, okay, Valera, Carmichael, this is the new generation. You know what I mean? Like these are the next level. These guys, this is going to be crazy. Right. So, the time that Mike and John tied 3 times to finish the whole night, like that was just crazy. Right. Yeah. Raymond and Mark Choders, his brother or cousin, I think stepbrother, won the self-defense, and we're doing like stuff off the ropes and hurricanranas and stuff off the ropes. It was awesome. Man, there's so many. David doing. So that was actually the first time that John did the 2-kick 720, but before that, David did the first like jackknife. So all that happened like head to head against each other. They tied as well. That was, I think, 97. So yeah, I mean, and then 96 actually, you put Mike and Mike and David tied multiple times. I mean, it was just. I know people are glad ties are gone, but man, there was something about it. The head to head, the battle. It was just like it made you like, yes, let's see it again, and you had to switch it up. It kept you on your toes.
I think doing something like that in a finals and having a tie is not bad, right? No. And having to do something about that when I agree with like not having ties anymore, because there was a problem where you'd be like, we have a 3-way tie for second.
Right.
Oh my gosh. Now what?
Yeah. Hey. Nope, you're not back.
What's this audio interface? I'm gonna buy a new one. But because if you have like in that example, if you have a 3-way tie for second, you have to break that. You have to figure that out because there's points at stake here, right?
Right.
Somebody's third in the division. If they break that, and then those other guys, now they're the runner-up. They're in second. So it's the divisions where the ties are really kind of a headache.
Yeah, well, I know for me, it drove me nuts with at like Super Grands, because again, in the finals, there was a lot of ties, and it's like there's only 2 people. You can't
Why
like
are there so many ties? Why
why
were there
were
so
they?
many ties then?
Because they didn't. Because the other thing is too is that you were also trying to make sure like whoever got the highest scores made it to the overall grands.
Okay.
So they would only take 4 to the overall grands. So some people would give 10s because they thought, hey, I want to make sure this guy not only wins his world title, but he needs to be in the overall grand. So that would cause some fluctuation, some ties here and there. So that system was flawed, but and then later on, you had the opposite where they were trying not to tie, and so they gave someone 9-9 and 9-8, and you had some people that probably should have been in the overall grands that didn't because they had maybe a closer battle for first and second when someone else may not have, right? So there was a lot of interesting things on that. But
Well, do we get to a point where for the finals we take like your place, like the score? Because now we don't give you a score, we give you a placement, right?
yeah, right.
And so
It's
is there a world ever where we just get rid of that and just say, hey, there's 3 of us, there's 4 of us here. We can figure out 4 competitors, right? Because
right.
without it,
It could right now the only way it happens is if there's a 3-way tie, right? And because really all of us completely went the other, went opposite, and there was no messing up or anything like that. So,
but like when you brought up that someone gave you a 10, there's not really 10s anymore.
right.
So and the cynic in me goes, well, yeah, because no one's perfect. But then at the same time, it's not the person or the form that's perfect. It's the moment. It's
Yeah.
the moment that does this deserve a 10? Like we just talked about the dunk
Right.
contest.
And
Some of those
we got
dunks,
some
not perfect,
recently.
but the moment requires a 10.
Correct. Yeah, I mean at Warrior Cup there was a few 10s given. At Diamonds, we had some 10s given. So it was pretty cool to see that, right? I think all that did was just make those moments bigger,
Yes.
like you said. So I don't know, man. I'm telling you, this was a lot of fun. We had a great show. Congrats to everyone at Memphis Open. Congrats to Joey, Holly, the whole team. I think it's pretty cool. Just and excited for the year of everything to come. Good luck to everybody this weekend. It competes. We're going to keep an eye out. So that way we will have lots of people on the show Monday talking about what's going on and how Compete Nationals was. And then, guys, make sure you're checking out Ocean State. We're going to be talking more about them. We're also going to be sharing more about the Adidas Taekwondo circuit coming out. So many different things going on. And you know what, man, it's going to be a great year. 2026, man. Sport karate.
It does feel like
Bartender
that.
Network. Also, thank you to everyone who came up to me. I had so many people come up to me, introduce themselves, say that they listen to our show every year. And man, I'm just excited to meet those people. Alan is one of those guys that came up to talk to me. A lot of people just love listening to the show or watching and sharing about it. So thank you guys. Again, if you want to support what we do, message us. If we have a product that you want us to talk about, if you have a tournament, if you have anything like that, message me and we'll share more about this on the Martial Arts Center Network and Inside Scoop. And check out the main app because this is going to be the future of our sport, man.
The products really, people should be doing that. All right.
Yeah.
And I'm not trying to say we're really, really good, but we ain't bad. You know what I mean? Is just kind of really call it, right? If you sell a martial arts product, right? The listeners of this show are your customer, right?
Right. And again,
there's not a lot of other people doing what we're doing.
No, and again, we're talking about not just a group that is. It's not about just like a lot of numbers. It's a niche group that's going to be focused, like a core focus audience, right? So it's not just martial arts stuff, fitness things, you know what, like hydration, nutrition. This is something else that, man, I wish I would talk about more. There was a kid that just kept cramping up, and he was just having a hard time at the tournament. Okay. And for me, this is where I'm thinking, hey, we need to start having some coaching or some seminars, or just like something about nutrition, hydration. What should you be putting in your body before tournaments? What
What
should
you
you be
should not be doing. And that doesn't mean like junk food.
doing? Right. And what are some things we need to do to help our athletes become athletes, right? And I think there's some great I had another great conversation with Haley and Alex, just about that, some things that we see that don't need to happen, some things that, hurt competitors, and some things that we all need to do, better as far as when it comes to our nutrition and hydration and everything like that. So
What's a product or a company that you're like, listen, you should be reaching out to us, right? This is perfect for you.
yeah, I'm a big stickler on certain products, right? I only suggest this one company for an electrolyte. Again, maybe I could, work on that one there. There's another supplement company I think is the best. It's the best tested supplement company. Everything is natural. And you know what? Djokovic uses them. So, hey, I'm going to listen to this guy, because in my opinion, I think those guys are some of the best athletes in the world. Just what they have to do. You're going to be outside in 100-degree weather playing tennis for 5 hours head to head with somebody. Yeah, you're crazy. So you got to be in shape. And also, like, one of the matches they did almost 6 hours, didn't go to the bathroom once. Like, that's crazy, right? What the heck? I don't know, bro. Well, because you get breaks and stuff in that, right? But again, I'm just telling you, you're going like that. They're
And
just
to not like it'd be one thing is because I've had scenarios where I'm like, I can't afford to like stop and go to the bathroom.
right.
I'm not going to drink a thing, right? Well, for 6 hours.
No,
I didn't even go this whole podcast without that. Which, by the way,
exactly.
These little things I was telling you about, what are they? Bloom Sparkling Energy.
Yeah.
You guys can sponsor the show immediately. I love these things. They're awesome, right?
Yeah. Yeah. So yeah, I love to share some things like that, just some nutrition stuff. We also, you and I talked about a couple of different influencers. There's a lady that we like to get on the show that, at 34 years old, like the last time she did gymnastics, she was like 17 and got out. And then now, after having 3 kids and everything, she's going back and doing that. That's cool, right? I think that could relate with a lot of our audience. Some other people that are focused on mindset, some other people who are talking about nutrition. So, I'm excited to see where we go with this. We're just having fun, man. And
what if we had, sounds crazy, what if Gucci made martial arts stuff?
That would be sick,
how
man.
cool would that be, right? Wear some
be
Gucci foot pads.
Gucci foot pads. No, imagine like a Gucci like martial arts uniform, like an open style martial arts uniform with the logos. Yeah,
what I'm saying.
That would be sick. I feel like, yeah, that would be wild.
do a Louis Vuitton headgear.
Yeah, Sam, I had shared actually, I think a couple years ago, last time they had that tournament. Yeah, I got like all 10s at that tournament. That was kind of crazy. All right. Well, we'll see everybody. Hope everyone has a great weekend. Man. And let us know more about what you're doing this weekend, and let's do it.
This has been another episode of Inside Scoop with Alex and Jeff. I'm Alex Dingman.
I'm Jeff Doss. See you guys next week. Have a blessed weekend.